Welcome back to the Music Elegancy by L&C podcast. That did not roll off the tongue how I wanted it to, but it's fine. Today we're going to be going over some hot takes. We've done this on our previous podcast before, but we thought it would be fun to revisit this topic, see if anyone has some spicy hot takes, some controversial hot takes, stuff that's at least fun to talk about, because some hot takes, they're kind of just baiting you.
Yeah.
That's going to be happening today. There's one that kind of pissed me off earlier, but it's fine.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, because you weren't really familiar with it before, and then you're now. I'm excited to see your 2 cents on this topic, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Something that we like to do in our hot take videos or podcasts is we have this rating system. It's kind of complex, but I'll try to explain it the best I can again because you're probably not familiar with it. Basically, a 0% to 10% hot take would be something that just most people would just agree with. There's nothing hot about it, and it's also just true. If I just said Kendrick Lamar is a good rapper, there's no hot take involved there. Just most people would be like, yeah, he is. And then 30 to 40% or 20 to 30%, that's where you're starting to get I guess more hot, something that's more unpopular, but also I guess there's a big movement behind what you're saying. A lot of people may say that. A good example would be Yeezus is Kanye's best album. Not everyone would agree with that, but most people would understand that there's a big movement behind that take, and also they could understand why people would think that,
Yeah.
And then 50%, that's the perfect hot take. It might not necessarily be something I agree with, but I can understand the psyche behind it, and also it's perfectly hot. It's just Goldilocks. This is the middle. It's just right. It's not just outlandish. It's just something that makes sense. I may not agree with it, but I'd never seen that take before, and it just makes sense,
Yeah.
And then 60 to 70, that's when you're starting to kind of stretch a little bit.
You're going so slow on explaining this.
It's because it's important, bro. This is an important rating scale. 60, 70, that's you're starting to stretch it a little bit. I probably don't agree with it, but I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. Then 80 to 90 and 100%, those are just outlandish. You're just lying, especially when you're in 90 and 100. That's literally just purposely lying just for the sake of having a hot take. We get it, man. You're wearing your beach house shirt today.
Yeah.
Right? It's a cool shirt.
Yeah. Around the camera's so right. Throw me off.
So I guess we'll just hop right into it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip over a few. We'll go relatively in order, but the ones I skip over, I'll go over at the end because those are takes that I literally have nothing to say on, just because I'm not familiar with what they're talking about. And that's what the first one on our list is. So we'll get to you later. Our first hot take is from @BrotherMonRoig on Instagram. He says Mr. Morale's Kendrick's best record, and it's at least tied with To Pimp a Butterfly. See, this was a take that I kind of was talking about on a previous podcast because it's starting to gain steam. It's starting to become Yeezus is the best Kanye album. It's I'm seeing a movement behind this take. So it's not a very, I guess, unique take, but I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with it. Do you agree with it?
I'm close. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is better still, but it might Mr. Morale might overtake it. But I see them as tied. I think they're more tied, and one's better than the other, they're both
that's
perfect.
fair.
Not perfect.
It's they're part of
flaws, but there's flaws in everything,
Yeah. What I always think is they're part of the same series. Is that your dad?
No, it's Hunter. He doesn't want to walk through.
Oh. That's so funny. Why isn't he at school?
No, he's gonna crawl on the ground because I'm recording. Bro, they're letting the heat out. Come on, quick. He
Okay.
school off this week, but yeah, back to Kendrick.
That's nice. Oh, what was I saying, bro? Oh yeah, they're part of the same series, Usually
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
I feel it's a character development. So I understand the take where it's this is the circle finally closing with the whole story of Kendrick Lamar's character. So I understand that, but I just feel To Pimp a Butterfly is I guess more efficient what it does. You have like moments on Mr. Morale that kind of drag, I guess. Like Purple Hearts,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of, where I feel like there's no like Purple Hearts moment on To Pimp a Butterfly. I feel like every song is very purposeful.
Yeah, I could see that. Mr. Morale's a little bit longer. It's more like drawn out.
Yeah. It's not even like the fact that it's longer. It's just like, I feel like you could take 2 or 3 songs off of it and like no one would bat an eye.
Yeah, no, you definitely could.
Yeah. So what percentage would you say that take? I would say it's like, I kind of want to put it at like the 40 range just because I hear it a lot, but I don't agree with it, you know?
Yeah, I'd say it's like around there, like 50.
Yeah, it's
Keep
a
it
good hot take.
good
Like
hot take.
it
Yeah.
brings up a good discussion, even if I don't really agree with it. The next hot take.
In Rainbows is the best Radiohead album so far. I
Well, he says
haven't
by far.
by far. Yeah, I haven't listened to a lot of Radiohead, but it's definitely like one of my favorites. So to me, it's not that hard of a take, but I'm sure Luke, you're about to say
Yeah.
something. You're about to get mad.
No, I don't think it's a hot take at all because I see this take a ton, but I think what makes it, I guess, hot is the fact that he says by far, saying there's a big gap between the second place, which I obviously don't agree with. I saw this video yesterday, literally talking about the evolution of a Radiohead fan. They start out with like OK Computer and the Bends. They're like, this is all right. And then they try to listen to Kid A and they don't understand it. So they skipped it In Rainbows. And then they fall in love with In Rainbows. And then they eventually get tired of In Rainbows and go back to OK Computer and like understand that OK Computer's better. And then eventually they check out Kid A and then they finally understand Kid A, which is not completely related to this hot take, but like I feel like that's low key true for a lot of people. I liked Kid A right off the bat, but like I feel like In Rainbows is definitely like, it's more of like a phase album. You love it for like a year or two, and then eventually it kind of grows off of you. That's what happened for me because I used to have it at a 10 out of 10, but now it's not a 10 for me anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. I feel like I'm in like the very beginning of that arc. Like I haven't listened to a lot, but that makes sense to me.
Yeah, so maybe what was his username? He's one of our most loyal followers. He likes every single one of our stories. He's a go. It's Jack Rope is Gone 22, but there's an X instead of an A for the Jack. Yeah. Hopefully I don't know what I'm saying hopefully. I'm saying I think maybe he might be in his In Rainbows phase, but maybe he's considered every option and In Rainbows is just the best for him. So I don't know. I would say this is like a 30% hot take just because I hear it a lot and it's just like not that, I guess, unique.
Yeah, I'm not in the Radiohead scene at all, so I really have no idea. I would think it's a hot take, but I guess if it's pretty
Yeah. I mean,
popular,
like,
30 is good.
it's like, let's put this into like Pink Floyd sense. I'm trying to think of the album that would compare. I guess it might just be like Animals is the best of Pink Floyd. It's like the equivalent to
Okay,
that.
I see. It's like the elitist
So,
opinion.
yeah, kind of.
All right.
Like, I would say Dark Side of the Moon is OK Computer, and then Wish You Were Here is Kid A, and then In Rainbows is Animals. I'm a genius, bro.
You're a G.
I don't know what the wall would be.
I don't know. I would say The Wall is Kid A, because Kid A is the best, right?
Yeah, but the wall isn't the best. The wall, like, low-key might be like the Bends. I know it's like, this is all out of order, but like, I feel like the Bends is more comparable to the wall.
And I haven't listened to the Bends. I thought the Bends was bad.
No, it's not. The
Oh,
the album before it is bad. Pablo Honey with Creep. That's like the
okay.
biggest song.
That's not. Do
Okay,
you like that song?
I like it, but like, it's obviously the best on the entire album. Like, if you listen
Yeah.
to it, like, it's kind of just like a Nirvana ripoff. Uh, our next hot take is an interesting one. It's from at JZZCKK. What's up with Jack replacing his name with Z? We have two people named Jack replacing the A in their name. Okay. They say 2020's hip hop is better than 2010's hip hop so far. Like if you were to compare, I guess, up to 2022 to 2012. Interesting. I'm trying to think how I need to decipher this take because 2020 was kind of a bad year for hip hop just because like coronavirus and stuff.
Yeah,
But 2010 was like I feel like it was pretty mid outside of Kanye and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
true. Luke is more of the 2010s historian than me.
Yeah,
That
I'm
I feel like it has to do with like the era that you grew up in, you know, because like we're listening to it now, so we think it's better. But if we were to ask
mhm.
like people 10 years younger than us, they'd be like, "No, 2010s was classic. You can't beat that." So I feel like every
Well, he's
generation thinks the new one is better, you know?
yeah. Well, the key thing for this hot take is like so far because obviously like I feel like the mid 2010s,
Oh,
that's
I
where it's
see.
like the spiciest. Like that's where you
Yeah,
got like
that makes sense.
the best albums. But like even so, like when you look at like 2012, you have some classic albums like Good Kid, Mad City. Um, I'm checking my sources right now to see if I'm missing anything from the early 2010s. I feel like the early 2020s has been like pretty innovative for like hip hop because you got
Yeah.
like the Injury Reserve album. But bro, early 2010s have like early Death Grips.
Yeah.
Ah, damn, that's actually tough. 2011 was pretty mid though. The best album was probably like Ex-Military Section 80 by Kendrick Lamar and like Danny Brown's first album. Oh, I don't know if that's his first album technically.
Looks like an encyclopedia of music knowledge. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd say
You
this
know
hot
what?
take is like a 30.
Yeah, I can get behind it. That's the thing. Like, I feel like I could argue both sides pretty evenly. I feel like it's pretty evenly matched so far,
Yeah.
at least. I feel like once we get to the mid 2020s, that's when we'll really see if this decade is gonna be good or not. Like 2021 was just such a good year for hip hop, though. Like
Yeah.
you have LP by JPEG Mafia, you got the Little Sims album. I know you haven't really listened to that. You have Call Me If You Get Lost. You have the Injury Reserve album. You have the West Side Gun, Hitler's Wear Hermes, Part A, Part B. Yeah, I don't know.
It's Hermes.
Hermes, my bad. Hermes from Futurama. That's what I always think of when I see that title.
It's funny. Bro,
All
and
right.
last year was fire too. So
Yeah, 2022 was a really good year for hip hop.
the 20s got a good start. We'll just gotta
Yeah.
see if it carries through.
Yeah, I'd say that's like a 40-50%. Like I like that hot take. It's
Yeah.
fun to talk about.
The next hot take is pretty stupid. It's by not Luke Dean, and he says there's no trap album that's better than an 8 out of 10. And it's pretty easily debunkable because a better trap album would be a 9 out of 10. So I don't know. Like I don't get what he's trying to say, you know?
He's saying that like the peak of trap is not even an 8 out of 10. You know? Like
Oh, I see it now. Okay. That makes sense. No, I disagree with that.
yeah, definitely for sure. I feel like that's pretty dare I say a boneheaded take. I'm
Bonehead.
sorry, Luke Dean. I'm sorry, Luke Dean. We share a name. Luke, you're one of our most loyal followers. I love you. But there's definitely trap albums above an 8 out of 10. Like, even, just go to the classics, honestly. You just go to the classic Playboy Cardi albums. You can understand the hype behind
Yeah.
that. You can go to even Travis Scott. I love to hate on Travis Scott, but you can't deny the greatness of, like, Rodeo. Can't deny the greatness of, like, Astroworld. But we'll talk about that later. There's an interesting hot take involving both of those albums. Or
Yeah.
even, like, I don't know. It's a you just have to like something about trap music is you just have to get over that bias of like I don't want to say meaningful lyrics because there's definitely meaning to trap music. It's just like not in the conventional sense, you know?
Yeah, it seems like it's meaningless, but
Yeah, you just have to understand. It's more of like a performance based thing,
yeah,
just like
exactly.
interesting voices.
It's about the sound, not like what it means.
Yeah. And even if you want like stuff for how it means, there's definitely trap music that does that. Like some of like Future's earlier works definitely have some complexity to their meaning, I guess.
Yeah. Life and
Like
Hell by
coding
Lazy
traits and
Foe
stuff.
too.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like just counting out all trap albums is an L take. I would say that's like a 90%. Just like it's just hot for the sake of being hot.
Yeah, I'd say it's 100. It's just dead wrong. Sorry, not Luke Dean. We love you, but
Yeah,
not
man.
this take.
I'm gonna skip the next one just because I've never listened to it. I'll just say it anyway. It's from Valentino De Rose. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm sorry. He says Dreamcast Summer Songs is the best JPEG Mafia / Devin Hendrix album, which I've never listened to Dreamcast Summers. I'm slacking, but like I don't know if I would even agree with that if I listened to it, not to count out this take before I even like give it a chance. But like JPEG Mafia's peak is pretty high for me, and I would feel like I just don't see a world where like some random like album he made in like 2012 will be better than like All My Heroes Are Cornballs or LP or Veteran.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hope it's true though. Like I hope he's
Yeah,
got some
same.
better stuff that I can listen to one day. I was at work
Yeah, I
and
hope I'm sleeping.
this pop song came on, and there was a feature, and I was like, oh, this guy, he's kind of rapping like JPEG Mafia, and he started saying some similar words and stuff, and I was like, wait a second, this literally is JPEG Mafia, and it was so
What the
trippy.
heck?
It was like a regular like pop song, and
At
he was just
Walmart?
on it. Yeah, Walmart, bro.
Do you know what song it was?
No, I was gonna like try to figure it out, but I
Should have.
didn't.
You had to Shazam that, bro.
I know. I should have.
That's
I
so weird.
regret it now, actually.
JPEG Mafia at Walmart. Was it Awake by TK Mazda? I don't
I
know.
don't
That's
know.
not really a pop song. That song's fire, but it's not really a pop song.
I
Is it
don't
Rough
know.
Seven?
No, it was. I wish it was that. You know how last podcast we were talking about the Drake song, the Drake pop song too?
Yeah. Oh, I figured
Yeah.
that out.
They played that one like 2 days in a row. They played it yesterday and the day before. It was crazy. Maybe
These Days
Walmart
by Nico.
Radio. Walmart Radio is predicting our podcast before it even happens.
What if the executives at Walmart, like they know who Connor Miller is, so they started listening to the Luke and Connor podcast?
That'd be crazy. I think it's
Now I want to
definitely
like
true. That's a pretty hot take, Luke. I don't know.
I want to look at the Walmart in-store music to see if I can find it now.
The
I
J.
doubt it will.
Mafia one. You
Yeah.
probably
Okay.
won't find it.
Yeah. I can't. Okay. The next actual take again is one that I don't really have much to say about. It's from Henzo Wing. He says, "Die for You" is one of the weaker tracks on Starboy. Honest to God, I've only listened to Starboy like one or two times. I'm not like it's like an all right weekend album, but like I'll just say I agree with that. Honestly, I don't even remember "Die for You." So like, what does that say? Is that the one with? Yeah, it's not the one with like Kendrick Lamar or Future. It's not.
I
It's
don't
not the
think
one with
so.
Daft Punk. It's not the one with Daft Punk. So like, you know what? I'll agree with that.
The
It's
only
over.
reason I know about that song is because my brother's been listening to a lot of The Weeknd for some reason. I
Oh,
don't know
really?
why. Yeah, but
I mean, everyone goes through a weekend phase. I feel like you went through one. I remember that.
yeah, that was just one album though after it came out.
After Hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, After Hours. That was one of the like most I feel like impactful pop albums of the decade so far.
Really?
Yeah, people been copying his drift.
Dang. I didn't even notice that.
All right, I'll let you now announce the next one.
All right. Blonde is astounding, but still overrated, sadly, by the W Guad.
Bro, us just reading the usernames is so funny.
I know.
Dude, we both have like dyslexia, low key.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. Bro, before I even read this one, I thought it said Blade, and then I started reading it, I was like, oh, it's Blonde. So, I actually
do you
kind
agree
of
with this?
agree, yeah. Like, it's
Yeah,
astounding,
same.
but overrated, sadly. Like, it's definitely true. Doesn't take away from the greatness of the album, but people act like he invented God or something.
Yeah, I agree. There's just like the stigma around Blonde as the years go on, it's just gonna get more and more and more like overrated, I guess. Just because like we have nothing else, you know? Like people are just like they've dissected it to every possible extent they could just because there's nothing else to dissect with Frank Ocean's music. Uh yeah, I agree with this take. I think it's overrated. It was like I forget what list posted it, but they said it was like one of the greatest albums of the decade. It was like the greatest album of the decade. I don't think that's even close, but it's still like a mid to high 9 for me, you know, which is a really good rating.
Yeah.
Like it's probably like top 100 all time, probably maybe top 75, but like I think a lot of people have it like top 10, like top 5, which
Yeah.
I think makes it a bit overrated, but I don't know. Maybe it deserves that overratedness, you know?
Maybe. The unfortunate part about it being so overrated is that like when Frank eventually does drop another album, he's gonna like there might just be too much hype because people are expecting another Blonde, and what people are expecting for Blonde is better than it actually is in reality. So it might just be
Yeah.
possible to satisfy the crazy Blonde stans.
Yeah, that's definitely true. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I would rather Blonde be overrated than a lot of other albums, you know, like even if it kind of annoys me when someone like makes 15th millionth Blonde is sad post, like I don't know. I would rather it be Blonde than like some album that I actually dislike, you know. So I would say this is a pretty good hot take. I don't know if it's necessarily super popular, so I don't know. I'd put it like at 40% because I agree with it.
Wait, isn't it more of a hot take though? Like, doesn't everyone think it's over or don't most people not think it's overrated?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people say it's overrated.
Uh,
At least from the discourse I've seen online. I'll put it at 60 just to appease you, but I
okay.
still agree with it. It's still in that 40 to 60 range, like either or.
Yeah. Luke, you're more of the online rate your music community of people, and
Yeah,
I
man.
know
I
like
have no life,
the regular bots and their opinions. Like, oh yeah, Blonde is the best album of all time.
bro. I have no life. Just it, it's just how it is. Our next hot take comes from Rat Lotus. I said rap, as in hip hop rap. Rap Lotus. He says LP is complete ass. Aside from Fun, Crusher Plus, and FD. I don't remember what FD is, and he says especially Run the Jewels. So he's saying LP, the white dude, and Run the Jewels is trash except for his solo albums, basically. Which like I don't agree with, but like I think it's funny when people make fun of LP because like he definitely is just like dad rap, you know.
Yeah.
He's pretty corny, but like I kind of like the corniness for some reason. Like it just kind of clicks with me, but like I definitely see this. I see people make fun of LP so much, so I don't know if this is a super hot take.
Yeah, I haven't listened to his solo music, so I wouldn't know exactly, but I don't think it's that hot of a take because, like you said, there's quite a bit of LP slander.
Yeah. I think it's unjust though because like yeah, he's a bit of a corny rapper, but like he's also producing all the music too, so like to call him ass is pretty uh diabolical in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessarily a hot take just because I disagree with it. I'd say it's like 30%, like I see it, but I still disagree with it.
Yeah, I agree. 30. Next, we got Salty underscore 909. He says, I enjoy listening to Birds in the Trap sing McKnight more than Rodeo. And
Let me just say this
what? Go.
before you get started. Salty 909, just say that Birds in the Trap is better than Rodeo. Like you don't have to like dance around the topic that you think that. Like if you enjoy it more, you're allowed to say it's better. Like I would rather you say it's better than just saying like I enjoy it more. Like you know, like that. I feel like some people like get so caught up in the differences between like favorites and best, but like especially for something like trap music, if you enjoy listening to one album over the other, you should just say that album's better, you know? Because like
Yeah.
you don't have to like appease the trap gods by saying Rodeo is better, even if you like Birds in the Trap better.
Yeah.
All right, back to what you're saying.
That's something I used to get hung up on too in rating an album. I was like, I don't like this, but I recognize how it's good. So I'd rate it higher, but
Yeah,
now I'm like, nah, I don't like it. It's a 0. But I don't agree with this one. I haven't listened to Birds in the Trap in like a while. Feel like it's maybe like a more normie take since Rodeo isn't on Spotify. Oh wait, no, Rodeo
yeah, it
is,
is.
right? All right, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
yeah, it is.
I always think of Days Before Rodeo,
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think it's a pretty hot take still. Like maybe
I
60,
think
70%.
this is like an interesting take because like I feel like I remember in high school they would say stuff like this. They would say like, "Yeah, Birds is so overhated. It's the most underrated album of all time." Like out here, people say it like that.
Really?
But like, I feel like Rodeo is just like it's one of the best trap albums of all time. Like I feel like Birds and the Trap, Sing Make a Night, even if it is like underrated, it doesn't really come close to like I guess the theatrics of Rodeo. Like Rodeo is just like
Yeah.
such a fun ride. It's like it's just such a like perfect mix of all of influences of like Kanye and like Kid Cudi, and then also adding that trap southern element. Like it's just like I feel like it's Travis Scott's like opus, where I feel like Birds and the Trap Sing McKnight is just kind of like it kind of just feels like clumsily put together, even if it has some great moments.
Yeah, it's like it's not as grand. I feel like it's more of not a filler album, but it's just like just something to hold the fans over until like his next great
Yeah,
album, like Astro World.
yeah, it feels like there was a lot of moments where he was just trying to like make hits. I feel like more than he was on Rodeo,
Yeah.
instead of just like I guess organically letting it happen. Which that just leaves some songs just to like I guess not sit well with me. And then there's just moments where like he takes how I was talking about Rodeo, how he like perfectly like mixes the influences.
Yeah.
And Birds on the Trap Sing McKnight, I feel like he takes it a bit too far with like songs like Through the Late Night, where he literally just interpolates Day and Night by Kid Cudi, and then puts them on the same song, which is just kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like a decent song, but I don't know. And then also the fact that like one of the best songs Travis Scott technically isn't even the main artist for. Pick Up the Phone. Young Thug is
Oh
like
yeah.
listed as the main artist.
I always forget
It's
that
pretty
that's on that song or that album.
yeah, but like I enjoy Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight, but I always feel a bit disappointed after I listen to it. I always want to like it so much, but it never like feels like Astroworld or Rodeo to me. So yeah, I don't know. I put this like at an 80% hot take.
Yeah, me too.
I never really understood the logic behind it, but like trying to explain the logic behind like why you like trap music is kind of hard in the first place. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you have to, in order to like it, you have to put the logic out the window, and then you start to like it.
Yeah, yeah. Logic, he's out the window. The rapper,
Yeah, he's God.
Logic is dead. Um, it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my turn. Going back to Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers, this is a pretty similar take. It says Kendrick's album was overhated, started a conversation many are unwilling to bring up. I don't know if Kendrick's album was necessarily overhated. I feel like it definitely had some people hating on it once it first came out, I guess, but I feel like all that hate just kind of died down.
Yeah.
Those people are a lot quieter now. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, Ulysses Cruz. I don't really think this is much of like a take. This is kind of like one of those like 10% ones. Like I just don't really see like people hating on it. I mean, some people like I guess say it's like over. People are saying it's overrated already. So like, does that mean it's overhated? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I've
You go.
noticed is that like when an album comes out and it's super hated, unless it's like just a bad album and it always has the hate, like Supermarket
Mhm.
by Logic, but like Whole Lot of Red, Mr. Morale, like they were super hated at first because they're so different and not what you expected, and then people
Yeah,
like it grows on them and then they start to like it.
yeah. Like maybe I'm just too trapped into that like online circle again. Like I'm just like I'm blinded by rateyourmusic.com. I'm blinded
Yeah.
by Instagram group chats. But like I feel like it's not that overhated. But maybe like the average Walmart goer thinks this album sucks. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't talked to a lot of people about it because I didn't really like it that much when it first came out. I actually thought it was
Yeah.
a little overrated, but then it
Yeah.
grew on me.
What I what I do agree with is I think it does start a conversation many are I guess unwilling to bring up because it like I guess delves into the idea of like self-care and then also into like some controversial topics. So I guess that part, I guess, stands true, especially because he approaches some of those controversial topics in a controversial manner in order to
Yeah.
speak to the people who have, I guess, uh, biased views, which is an interesting way to do it. So like the people who like he's trying to help end up being offended by it because he does it in a controversial way, but like would the people who are like, I guess, against the idea of it, would they even listen if he didn't do it in that controversial way?
True. I don't even know. You're
Because
probably
obviously
right about that.
I'm
Like,
talking about Auntie Diaries
yeah.
and how he uses the F slur, but like when you think about it, hip hop is like literally such a like transphobic and homophobic genre in nature. So like 5 years ago, if he said the F slur in a song, literally no one would care, even if it was homophobic and transphobic, you know. But like now he's doing it to like, I guess, subvert expectations. So like he's catching some of those old heads off guard, I guess.
Yeah. So does F slur mean that, and then F word is like
Yeah,
that's okay. Now I get why people separate the two. It all makes sense. After
you're
years of
connecting the
living on
dots.
Earth, I've connected the dots.
You're waking up.
Yeah, I'm waking out of the matrix. The next one by Fork Runner. He says the college dropout is one of Kanye's worst. Still great, of course, but songs like Breathe In, Breathe Out, and Get 'Em High. Thumbs down emoji. I think this is a pretty hot take.
Yeah,
It's definitely not one of his worst. But he says still great, of course, so that means he thinks
that means
Jesus
he
is
just
King and freaking some other shitty albums are way better. I just can't get behind that, you know?
yeah. I don't know. Maybe he says Jesus is King is worse because he says one of Kanye is worse. So like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
probably
true.
like one of three.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I think I will always understand why people might not like College Dropout just because it's kind of a choppy listen, you know? Like it's not
Yeah.
really as cohesive as other Kanye albums, but like I feel like the highs are so high that the choppiness doesn't really affect me that much.
Yeah. I feel like you have to put yourself in the in the time period and think about how
Yeah,
like revolutionary this was for rap, and then you'll like it
yeah,
more. Because if you're comparing it to like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and like later on in his career, then it's not gonna be as good. But like, say Drake or someone else were to drop this album, like it would be one of their best easily.
yeah. And then also I feel like how you listen to it and when you listen to it affects it too. Like for me, when I listen to the College Dropout, like in the middle of like May, on a super sunny day, just on a walk, it just hits way more than it would if I was just to listen to it in my room in the middle of winter, you know?
Yeah,
It's definitely a springtime album for me for some reason. Don't really know why.
could
I
say
guess it's
that about any music.
just the soulful sweetness of it. I don't know. So yeah, I don't even know how to respond to this take. Because, like, he still says it's great. So, like, is it
Yeah,
really that much of a hot take? Because Kanye's discography is one of those where, like, except for, like, Jesus is King, like, I feel like I could, like, understand literally any ranking of it.
yeah, me too.
Except also Donda 2. Like, if Donda 2 and Jesus is King are on the bottom, like, I could get behind, like, nearly any ranking.
Yeah, I still gotta
So,
listen to Donda too. I didn't know it was
honestly, like,
completed.
the, the moment you press play, your life will just be worse.
It'll be worse.
Yeah, like, you're living your best life up until you press play. So like I would just avoid it.
What do you listen to it on? Is it just on YouTube?
It might be. It probably got taken down. I just found like a Google Drive of it, but then the Google Drive got taken down. But I have it
Oh,
downloaded, so like I could low key send you the files.
low key, you should. Low key.
Speaking of Kanye West, our next take comes from Matt Butchart. He says, "Hell of a Life is
Sure.
top three on my
That's a crazy last name.
top. Hell of a Life is top three on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy." This is like another one of those things where like I understand it, but like I don't agree with it. But like I don't know. I feel like it's a good hot take. Like
Yeah.
there's not really much to say about it, but I understand the psyche behind it. It's a unique, cool sounding song. The interesting little hook. I don't really like the hook, but I don't know. I like the production on it though. I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of leads. It's like showing what the future is for Kanye on Yeezus. It kind of has a bit of a more like industrial soundscape. So yeah, I would just say this is like a 50%.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty good hot take.
Yeah,
I
I'd
don't
say it's
agree
a
with that.
52. I'm close to agreeing with it. When I first read it, I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like production wise, it's definitely one of the best. And then I was
Mhm.
driving home and I listened to the whole album and I was like, dang, I don't know. It's so good. Like it's so hard to choose a top 3 out of that album. So
Yeah.
I say it's 50. It's a good, nice, good hot take. Next we got Cooper McFadden 2. He says Metallica's music is very boring. And I agree because I have never really gotten into Metallica, but I also have never really tried. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm in the exact same boat. I
I've
can't
just
really
heard
say
them
anything.
before and been like, yeah, okay. It's old people
Yeah.
music.
I feel like there's definitely like you just kind of have to like embrace the I guess corniness of Metallica to really understand it. Except for like I guess some of their darker songs are cool. I haven't listened to much Metallica, but what's that one song? God, I won't know the name of it, but like it's one of their most popular songs, and it's just badass sounding, but like not in like the yeah. It's like dark, I guess. What is it called, bro? I think it's One.
I don't know.
Should I just play it to see if it is,
Nah, it's okay. No one cares about Metallica.
bro?
You're gonna do it anyways. I think it's funny how you
This,
said you've never listened to Metallica or gotten into them, and then you start talking about their songs. Like you literally you know stuff.
maybe it's not One. Oh yeah, it is One. Okay. Well, I've only listened to like one album, and then that song I haven't even listened to the album that it's on. So like I haven't really listened to much, so I can't really say they're boring or not. So I'm not gonna rate this hot take because I don't know what to say about it. Facts or
Um,
no?
yeah. Okay, we won't rate it. I don't know. I don't even care about Metallica.
Salty 909 is back again with another hot take saying Channel Orange is better than Blonde, which I mean we were talking about how Blonde is overrated, but like I never really saw why Channel Orange would be better than Blonde.
Yeah, me neither. Is this
But Channel Orange is also cool.
I feel like a lot of people have this take though, or am I wrong?
I feel like maybe not a lot of people, but like it has a movement behind it. It's
Yeah.
definitely in that 30 to 40 range.
All right. Yeah, I don't agree with it either, but
Yeah.
I
I
definitely
don't even
have heard of people that agree with it.
I don't even know what to say to it, honestly. Like yeah, it's just like okay, I just disagree fundamentally. I don't really want to get into the whys, so I'll just say it's 30-40 and let's move on.
Yeah. And next we got Casey Camacho coming in with a super hot take. Tacos greater than burritos. And I
No.
no, you
No.
you disagree? Okay, good. Me neither.
It,
Cause like burritos is so much easier to eat, and there's usually more food. Like it's this big thing. Tacos like it falls apart. It's like a little bit. It's like a little teaser. Then burritos are
yeah,
just this big nugget of love.
especially like if you've ever had like a super like authentic real burrito from a really nice Mexican restaurant where there's like all this like sauce on top of it and
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
just you have to eat it with a fork and knife. Like, bro,
Yes, those
that's
are the
honestly
best.
that's like that might be like peak food in general. Like it's up there. So like
For me, it's peak
tacos,
food. You're making me hungry.
yeah, tacos like a peak taco is like it's good, it's great, it's great even, but like is it to the level of burrito? I
Yeah.
don't think so. Burrito is like a first ballot Hall of Famer. Taco is just like it's not really known for why it's just known for its like iconic silhouette more than its actual taste.
Yeah. It's
Our
raining
next take,
tacos, bro.
bro. Okay, maybe tacos are better just because of that song.
True.
Our next take, we got a duo of takes from the same guy. So I'll start with his first one. He says, being one of the pioneers of a genre or sound does not make you the greatest in that genre. And this is probably one of my favorite hot takes spit out today, because it made me think, like, if you pioneer a sound, does that necessarily mean you're entitled to be on the Mount Rushmore of said genre? I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make you the greatest. Like it makes you like
Most influential.
yeah, you get influence points, but it doesn't make you great. And I think it's
Yeah,
definitely a good take because a lot of people will rate them the greatest. But
yeah,
if you do like pioneer a new sound, you do have to be really good in some aspect. Like you can't suck and create a new sound and then a bunch of people hop on the sound and be way better. So in order to
yeah,
pioneer a sound, there does have to be some element of greatness, but once people evolve it farther, they can easily surpass you.
yeah. It's just like, I guess context is everything, I guess. Like, sometimes if you just have the context, knowing that, like, this is the first to ever do it, for some reason it will just sound better. And I think that just partly what has to do with that is usually when someone pioneers a sound, they're on to something more than just like, oh, they started something new. That's usually just like really good, you know? It's just like,
Yeah.
there's a reason it's influential. Like, influence and greatness don't necessarily always correlate, but like most of the time it's influential because it's just that good, you know? But
Yeah.
obviously there's exceptions. But yeah, I agree with that take though.
This is actually shown in a hot take the next or two after, like two up on the list. So we'll get to
Oh,
that.
it's literally from the next guy, the same
Yeah,
guy,
the one above
Harper.
that proves it.
Oh,
But
okay.
the next one by Harper, he says Young Lean is the goat of cloud rap. So many bangers.
It's
And
just interesting because that's
what?
like, it's kind of like he literally just said that being a pioneer doesn't mean you're the greatest, but like
Yeah.
Young Lean is a pioneer of cloud rap, but like, is he the greatest just because of that? No, because he makes good music too. But I don't know if he's the GOAT.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
know. He might not be the GOAT because of Blade, right?
yeah, he got Blade. Even like Loki Cardi too, like Dial It, like might be better than any Young Lean.
Yeah. And yeah, comparing albums, I agree.
Yeah. Young Lean. I don't think he's the GOAT of cloud rap, but like he's definitely, I feel like he's on the Mount Rushmore, you know.
Yeah.
If you had to make a Mount Rushmore of cloud rap artists, Young Lean's fat Bobby Hill face would be up there.
See, this is what I was saying though. Like, in order to make a new sound, you have to be really good, but doesn't
Yeah.
mean he's the greatest.
A lot of people really hate Young Lean though, especially his earlier work, because of just how like it's brain dead, you know. It's just stupid, but like that's why it's
Yeah.
good, you know.
Exactly. You have to throw
Like when
expectations out the window.
his lyrics are just completely nonsensical, but like I said, context is everything. This is just a random kid from Sweden who like barely knows English, just like basing all his lyrics off what he hears in like rap music. But it just has that charm that just makes it like enjoyable, you know.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing about Drain Gang is that they're learning English while they're making all this music in English.
Yeah, in their like earlier works, I'm pretty sure they're more well versed in English than I am at this point.
Probably. Um,
Um,
Next up we got this is what I was saying. Like being a pioneer of a genre doesn't make you the greatest because you could say this I'll just read the hot take. Life of T.I., he says Lancey Foe does the hyper trap / rage sound better than anybody else right now, including Cardi in parentheses. And this is what I mean. Like Cardi started the rage sound, but Lancey Foe he does a way better job of it in his album. Not way better, but I think it's definitely better.
Interesting. I would take I still take a whole lot of Red's rage sound over Lancey Foes, just because I'm a sucker for Filthy, bro. Filthy, I think
Yeah.
if we're gonna if we like, I think Filthy does it better than Cardi and what's his face, Lancey Foe. Like, I know that's kind of unfair to count a producer, but like every single Filthy beat I hear, just like it just sounds like better than any other Rage production, except some of the production on Lancey Foe's album is really great.
Yeah.
It's up there with the Filthies of the world. especially like World on Fire. But yeah, I disagree with this take just because of the last part. If you said except Cardi, I'd be like, yeah, I agree. But because he says including Cardi, I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like Yeet and Lancey Foe are low key like they're kind of neck and neck. I low key love
Really?
Yeet. Yeet. The problem with him is all his albums are super bloated, but like his best songs are so good, bro.
See, it's weird for me because I literally like trap music, and I'll say like, oh, you have to get over the mindlessness of the lyrics. But then Yeet, I just
Yeah,
can't get into. Like, this is just too stupid for me. But I'm sure one day
I
I'll
was,
start to like him.
bro. Once you get it, you'll get it, bro.
Yeah.
He did you see the did you see the features on his next album?
No.
It drops on Friday. It
Uh,
drops tomorrow. It drops tonight. It drops tonight. Um, his features are all like just like fake rappers, and he's saying they're just my alternate personalities, and like the names are like Schmunky Monkey, and like just random stuff like that.
Yeah.
And and he also has a feature from the
Monkey,
Talking Ben
monkey.
app.
What the heck? That's gonna be
I
fine,
know,
bro. I'm tuning in.
like he's a crazy troll. Like I remember on Thanksgiving, he said, "Why do people call it Thanksgiving? It should be called Schmunksgiving or something stupid like that." He just has his like own like vernacular, his own language,
Yeah.
Tonka and Schmunk and whatever, bro. Yeah, he's the goat. Just kidding. Cardi's the goat, and then I'd say Lancey's second, Yeet
Yeah.
third.
Lancey's definitely second. Like, it's hard for me to say he's better than Cardi. I'm a little iffy, but
Yeah,
he's easily second for sure.
yeah. I'd say this is
How hot do you think this take is?
um I don't know, cause like in my mind, I just can see it no other way. But like, I guess a lot of the opium people think, like Destroy Lonely or Ken Carson is second place. But I don't know. I'll just say
Yeah,
this is
no
a
way.
50%, just
50%.
by default, just because of some people don't mess with Lancey because he's British. He's British.
Yeah, it's definitely jarring at first because he sounds so much like Cardi and he's British. Like, it's really weird. But then once you get over that, then you find like you can see his own sound in it.
Yeah. For some reason, our next hot take is literally also about Lancey Foe. I don't know how that happened. It's from a
It's
different
perfect.
person too.
Yeah.
Riley Heath, he says, after Life in Hell, Lancey Foe will be the leader of the underground UK scene. I literally have no idea how to reply to this because I know nothing about the underground UK scene. But like, I feel like Lancey must be like above the underground UK scene at this point if like I
Yeah,
know him
I
from
would
the
think so.
US, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe he means like leader and just like all the underground will try to emulate him, I guess. So I guess I
Yeah, that
agree.
would make sense.
Riley Heath. So yeah, I guess I don't know if that's really a hot take. That might literally just be like a truth, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. I'm just not well versed in the UK scene.
Me neither. All I know is Skepta, and I don't think he's underground anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely not underground.
Next, we got Taboo is Mid by Jukai Karoy. I probably butchered that, but this one I kind of agree with. Like,
Oh, really? What?
actually, I wouldn't say it's mid, but I'd say it's overrated. Like, it's good, but
That's fair.
it's not as good as people say. I don't think it's mid though.
Yeah,
So
this is just one of
it's
those
a
hot
low bar.
takes where I don't even know how to reply to just because it's so like substanceless, you know. It's just like
Yeah, just
album
three
that is,
words.
yeah. So I don't know. I disagree. I'll put this at like I don't know 80%.
80.
I don't know.
Dang.
I'm just throwing percentages out there. I like Taboo a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50. Like, it's just a basic good hot take.
I don't know. I don't think it's good. I think like you could like copy and paste any album with like a high rating and then just
Yeah,
say it's
it's
me.
true actually.
This next hot take comes from Matt Likes Movies. He's one of our realist followers. He's a real person. Uh, he says drill music. He says drill music in Zion is the best rap album of 2022. Did you ever even listen to that?
No, who's it by?
Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, no, I haven't listened to it.
I would say this is like a pretty good hot take just because like I don't see a lot of people saying this. There's not a movement behind it, but like I wholeheartedly disagree with it just because like 2022 is pretty stacked. And I feel like for the most part, there's like two types of like good rap albums in 2022. You have like the up and comers proving the worth. You had people like JID, Denzel Curry, even like I guess Little Sims just dropping like really solid albums, proving that like they're the voice of the future, you know? And
Yeah.
then you also had like the return of like older artists. So you had like Nas dropping King's Disease 3. You had Black Thought with Cheat Codes. You had even like you could count Kendrick Lamar in that category. He took a hiatus for a couple years. And then I think Lupe Fiasco fits into that category of returning of old artists, and I don't even think he's the best in that category, let alone the up and coming category. So like, yeah, I disagree with that.
Yeah. I
I
haven't
just
heard it like I said, but I disagree. I don't see how it could be the best. I
yeah, it's
just
just like
disagree for just no reason. Just basing it off the fucking
you're
name.
just hating. Like
Yeah.
I like the album. It's a good album, but like I just desire a lot more from the production, I guess. It's just like, do you remember how like there's so many like jazz rap albums in 2020?
Yeah.
It sounds like straight out of that era. So like maybe you'd like it if you just enjoyed that sound a lot, but like I don't think it does anything radically different from that era. So it kind of just feels like it's behind the curve, especially when you have more, I guess, like uh innovative jazz rap production on like Billy Wood's album where it just sounds so unique. And he also has like I guess that lyrical focus, that really well rapped mentality. I don't know. So yeah, I would say this is a good hot take though, just because like I don't hear it at all. So congratulations, Matt likes movies. You get a score of 60%.
Yeah. 60%. Speaking of Billy Woods, y'all gotta bump that new DJ Billy Bull. Goes crazy.
He just dropped like 7 remixes of one song.
Is that what it is? I haven't even also listened to them.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a remix album of just one song.
That's so good, bro.
It's the
Okay.
goat.
Our next take, we have another by Matt Likes Movies. He says Astroworld and Rodeo are better than In Rainbows and OK Computer. I feel like this one is just to trigger you, Luke.
Um, it might be, but like he definitely believes that.
He does. Oh,
Yeah. He thinks In Rainbows is like one of the most overrated albums of all time, which like I don't think it's one of the most overrated of all time, but I think I'm at a point where I think it's slightly overrated. But I also think like OK Computer is better than Astroworld and Rodeo combined in my head. Like I would take that over those two. So there's my mentality on this situation. What do you think about this from a Radiohead hater as yourself?
I'm not. See, this is the thing that always happens. Is that we both think we're haters of the opposite, but we're
I'm
literally not. But what'd you say?
Didn't say anything.
Oh, your camera's messing with me again. I think it's like I feel like it's more of the normie opinion. Like most people would think that Astroworld and Rodeo are better if you're not like really trying to be like a music elitist or something, trying to listen to all the albums. But I don't agree with it. I don't know. I guess I could see how you would like it more if you don't like if you are only into rap. But
hmm
I don't know. What does Matt think about Pink Floyd?
No idea. I think he says they're like fairly rated. I have no idea. You'd have to ask him. Send him a DM on Connor Miller account.
I should.
This next hot take is someone DM'd it to us because they couldn't reply to the sticker. They say Remain in Light by Talking Heads is nigh. I don't really know what nigh means. I think maybe highly is what they meant to say, but a typo is highly unlistenable. That's crazy. And I do not see the appeal of it whatsoever. You listened to Remain in Light for like the first/second time in your life, like yesterday, right?
Yeah,
What's your
I've
thoughts?
heard it a while ago, and I forgot that was what that album was. It's good. It's just not like super my style. So I don't.
Yeah,
That's why I don't listen to it. But it's definitely not unlistenable. Like I could see
Yeah,
how we think it's overrated maybe, but it's no way unlistenable. It's
that's
like
literally
how
my
it's like calling Death Grips unlistenable. Like you have a point, but once you get used to it, it's not unlistenable at all. It's just really it's
yeah.
just a lot to take in at first, you know.
Yeah, it's just like a really unique style. It like blends like so many different styles together, and like that's why I think it has the praise that it has. It's just like just really unique sounding, and I think the only thing that I could really understand or get behind of just like unlistenable is maybe the vocals, because the vocals are definitely kind of just like unconventional. But I love the vocals, and I don't think the album would work even close as well without the vocals,
Yeah.
especially on songs like Once in a Lifetime, where he's just basically like questioning his entire life. He's like, how the hell did I get to where I am? Like, I don't like this anymore. So like that kind of unconventional, weird, uncontained voice works very well with the cool production. I don't know. The production is just so jiving and cool. I don't understand why you'd say it's unlistenable. It
Yeah.
just makes me feel like a robot from the 80s. It's like so dystopian and cool and like tribal. Such a weird just combination of words, but like if you listen to it, you'd understand.
Dystopian, tribal, and cool.
Yeah. Perfect, bro. That's talking heads.
Yep.
So yeah. I'd say that's 100% honestly. Just because you say it's unlistenable, you can't see the appeal. I don't think it takes like much brain power to see the appeal of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Damn, son.
We're out of time, right?
I think we have time for a couple more.
Okay.
I have 3 minutes left on my recording.
Oh. The rest I
And
don't
we're
even know,
basically
so I don't know which ones you're gonna go through.
okay, I'll just like speed through them. Jack Jack's Rope is Gone, 22, the guy who likes all our stories. He's a goat. He says Peanut Butter Falcon is actually a really fun slice of life film. Boom, that's a perfect hot take. Not many people have seen Peanut Butter Falcon. I know you haven't. It's a really cool movie. I think it's very underrated. Uh, really good representation of like what someone with Down syndrome is like actually like. And then you have Shia LaBeouf somehow in that movie, and he's balling out for some reason. Just a really well put together movie for no reason whatsoever, and it just works in every way that it I guess shouldn't, but it just does. It's an underrated movie. He also had another take about John C. Riley's performance in Check It Out with Dr. Steve Brule. I've never seen that movie. I have nothing to say about it. He also says Adult Swim's 3 a.m. experimental content deserves so much more praise. Agree with that too. Their like 3 a.m. content is really cool, freaky, weird. Have you seen any of it?
No, I'm a bot.
Yep, you're a bot, bro. You should watch. I think there's one like about like footage of a bear or something. It's just such a weird, trippy thing about like I don't. It's just so weird. That's just the thing that works about it. Like MF Doom used to show up in the 3 a.m. slot apparently, so like that's cool. And then our last hot take that I have nothing to say about is Tom Waits is the greatest songwriter of all time. I'm sleeping on Tom Waits. I don't think I've heard a single song from him.
Yep, me neither. Never heard of him.
So I'm sorry. At Trev DeHobbs, I'm sleeping on Tom Waits. And yeah, that's it. I think we're like just out of time. So I'm gonna rush this outro. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye bye.